Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. It looks like I am dropping a ton of frames right now. I'm going to try one quick fix here and see if that works. But if it doesn't, we are going to drop Facebook tonight, and we will try and go with just Twitch and YouTube. Really trying to get Facebook up and running. I think that's a good place. We have a lot of subscribers. Okay. So we're going to drop that. We're going to do this. We're going to go here. We're going to go back down to this. All right. It will stabilize here in a second. So I'm going to give it a chance to stabilize, and then we'll get going on the show. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad there for a second. Why are you still there? I don't know. So Twitch, if you can see me, somebody jump something in the chat or something. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay. So Facebook, sorry. We just can't. We can't. I was going to put sorry, not working over here tonight. We'll try again next week. All right. So yeah, that kind of sucked. Over on YouTube. So Jake says Twitch went down, so I moved over here. I think everything went down, Jake, but I just stabilized and went back to my regular settings. So we're good over here. Okay, so what's going on, everybody? It's Monday night. Technical difficulties as always, which is awesome, but we are up and running, and we should be good to go now. Everything seems to be much better now. So yeah, we're in June, and last week we got a ton of construction news over at Disney, so we've got a lot to talk about. But before we get to that, let's talk about people that subscribed to the channel this week. Isla Moran, thanks for the subscription over on YouTube. Kyle Stringer, thanks for the subscription over on YouTube. Marsha Bayer, thanks for the subscription over on YouTube. Leslie, thanks for the subscription over on YouTube. And Jessica Butler, thanks for the subscription over on YouTube. We are at like 1,085 subscribers over on YouTube. It's fantastic. Thank you guys all very much for going over there, hitting that subscribe button, and watching some videos. You guys are watching a ton of videos, which is awesome. So thank you very much for all that. With that being said, like I said, if this is your first time here, thanks for joining us. We are a Disney news and events show. And we have a little fun, do some top 10s. We post a ton of videos from around the park. So if you haven't checked out the channel yet, go over and check out the channel. There's probably something that you love from Disney over there that you can rewatch till your heart's content. So yeah. But yeah, Disney news, construction. Construction is the big thing. Shannon can't hear me. Are you able to hear me, Jake? Does Shannon just need to unmute the video? Everything looks to be working. Switch that off, switch that back on. Hello, 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 hello. It's all kinds of fun tonight. Thanks for the subscription. I can hear myself. Yeah, I can hear myself. We should be good. Yeah. Jake can hear me. Cool. All right. So yeah, so lots going on construction-wise. The big thing that's happened in the last week is we had kind of the final hurrah for Muppet Vision 3D and that whole Grand Avenue area. So Pizza Rizzo, Muppets 3D, Mama Melrose, those gift shops that were back in there, all done. Kaput. No more. It is time to make way for Monsters, Inc. land. Yay. I don't know. I'm not too... Let's put it this way. I don't know how excited I really am for that project. I think the roller coaster is going to be really cool. I don't know that losing what they're losing and gaining what they're gaining, if it's a net gain for that park. So that's my big thing there. The other big news that we got is we got a closing date for Tom Sawyer Island and Rivers of America, and that is going to be July the 7th. So last day to go around Rivers of America on the Liberty Bell and get over to Tom Sawyer Island is going to be on July the 6th. Again, this is another project that it's going to be a huge project. I mean, they're clearing 19 acres just for the construction trailers. They couldn't clear 19 acres to put the ride on? I don't know. Something's got to change at Disney, and I think we're not going to see that anytime soon because the news is coming out that the front runner for the CEO is tomorrow. It's a yes man. It's somebody that's just going to continue with the status quo when it comes to what Disney's doing right now. So, if we're looking for changes at Disney, we're probably not going to see them anytime soon. A lot of things are going to change at Disney, but I don't think we're going to get back to the heart of Disney. And I thought Eisner did a good job trying to get back to that, and Iger did a great job dismantling that. And if you've watched the show before or caught any tidbits of the show, I mean, we get chopped up and rebroadcast on other people's channels quite a bit. I have a very hardline stance on what is going to happen to Magic Kingdom as they continue down this path. When you lose the heart and soul of your main park, you're going to lose everything else. And that's the path that they're going down right now. The path that they're going down is we need to compete with Universal, not we need to be completely different. And that is going to hurt Disney more than anything as they continue these projects. So, what projects do we have going on? Okay, we've got a few projects going on. So, let's talk about rides that are under repair, let's say. So we've got the Astro Orbiter. Astro Orbiter is getting close to the completion of the complete refurbishment of that ride. Astro Orbiter is the flying ride that is above the entrance to the People Mover, when you come into Tomorrowland. It's about done. It should open here relatively soon. You have Test Track. Test Track. Construction walls came down today. Okay? What does that mean? Well, that means that we're probably 3 weeks away from a month. And what do I mean by that is we are 3 weeks away probably from cast member previews, AP previews, DVC previews, all the previews, and then it will open to the public. So late summer is probably a good guesstimate. I would imagine it's going to happen like first week of August right now. Kind of where they are with the construction walls coming down, and they've been running test vehicles through it and that kind of stuff. We're probably about a month and a half away. That puts us squarely at the beginning of August. What else do we have? We have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad celebrated a milestone with the last piece of the retrack being reinstalled on Big Thunder Mountain. But it'll still be down for another 6 months. Why is it going to be down for another 6 months? Well, when you put new track down, you're going to have to run a lot of tests. And you're going to have to do these minute little adjustments to make sure everything is smooth from piece to piece, all that kind of stuff. Also, there's a lot of rumors going around that Disney World is going to get the Disneyland treatment in the final scene as you're going up in that last little mine shaft. We'll see. But all indications are pointing to this is something that's going to be done. It's not going to be announced, but it's going to be done. So that's down for another 6 months. That's actually not a bad thing because there's going to be big construction walls in front of it. You know, starting July 7th, it's going to be blocked off. Basically at Tiana's, they're going to block off basically all of Rivers of America, all the way around to Haunted Mansion, and across in front of Big Thunder Mountain. On top of that, the Walt Disney Railroad, the train, is only going to run shuttle service between a couple of the stops because it's not going to be able to do the complete loop because they're going to be doing construction to areas where the track will be once you get past that's Frontierland Station there at Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that's going to be something else that goes down. Now, what is Magic Kingdom getting? You know, let's close a big portion of our park, and then let's put a new parade here so we can get a bunch of people to come, because nobody really wants to go while the construction's going on. So they're going to put Starlight Parade. Starlight Parade's going to open July the 20th at Magic Kingdom. That is the new nighttime parade over there. So lots of park hoppers are going to jump over to Magic Kingdom at night. So if you want to ride something, one of the big rides, do it in the morning before the park hoppers come. All right, so what else do we have going on? Well, we've got a lot going on around the parks. And with that, you know, Disneyland has got a lot going on too. And a couple of the big things that were announced at D23 are coming to fruition now. We're getting idea where they're going to be at the parks. So, location confirmed for Disneyland Resort. Pixar's Coco ride will be near the Paradise Gardens. Hey, CTA. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Very much appreciate it. A subscriber while we're on. What a novel idea. Coco is going to be near Paradise Gardens Park, and Pixar Pier at Disney's California Adventure Park. The Avatar destination is going to transform a portion of the current Hollywood backlot area. And then they're getting a whole new parking structure. And this parking structure, if you've been to Disneyland and you kind of know where the main entrance is on the opposite side of the Disney hotels. So Disneyland, you have the two parks, and let's put them this way, okay? And there's an entrance in between the two parks. And on one side, you've got downtown Disney. On the other side, there's a lot of like, they're on property hotels, but they're not Disney hotels. That is where this parking structure is going to be, and it's going to have a huge walking bridge to get you down into that main entrance area. It's going to be a big deal. 6,000 parking spaces, pedestrian bridge with public access to and from Hollywood Boulevard, and more. It's going to be substantial. It's pretty cool, and it's going to be in the works. And this is all stuff that they're talking about, so stuff that's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit further. I'm sure I've got more park stuff. Muppet Vision 3D closing. That. So Disney did reveal some of... I don't know. Jay, you're asking $1 million question here. It's the same reason why Star Wars Galaxy's Edge couldn't be in California Adventure. It's a space thing to start. Now, what is that going to mean with Disneyland Forward? It's going to be a little bit different. But it is honestly a space thing to start at when you're talking about Disneyland. Disneyland is always, where is the next parcel of land going to come from? But I don't know. I relay what they put out. It would make sense for Avatar to go over there, and again, California Adventure is such a mismatch of IPs that honestly, I don't know that it would work really well there. Honestly, I feel like the best place to put the Avatar area would be between Big Thunder Mountain and Galaxy's Edge, on the backside of Magic Kingdom or Disneyland Park. I just feel like it would fit back in there stylistically better. The transition wouldn't be as jarring. But again, they put Pandora right next to Africa in Animal Kingdom. So I guess it is what it is. I mean, we're going to get what we get. Am I going to go out there and check it out? Probably. But back to what I was looking for here. I found it. It is kind of the mock-ups for the Cars Land at Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World. And it's going to be called Piston Peak. And they shared some postcards on their Twitter page. They kind of outline the area, and you can see the big landmarks here. You can see Frontierland, you can see Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you can see Big Thunder Mountain, and then you can see kind of what they've done to part of the Rivers of America. Now, if you kind of overlay this on an actual map, of course it's not going to be to scale, but to give you a good idea of what this looks like, the land doesn't extend past Big Thunder Mountain. So if you're looking at Frontierland, let me put my hands up, Frontierland, and you're walking past Big Thunder Mountain, the land doesn't get past Big Thunder Mountain. And of course it won't go past Haunted Mansion, because that will definitely be the entrance into Villain's Land. At least one of them, if they're smart. So they're only utilizing about half of the Rivers of America in Tom Sawyer Island area. So if you know the bridge from the main island on Tom Sawyer Island to that little secondary island, there's this little suspension bridge that runs between the two. I don't know that this land gets past that bridge. So with that being said, they've still got the whole backside of Rivers of America for Villain's Land. I don't know that that's how they should have done it. I think that they should have put cars on the backside of that parcel and then run Villain's Land behind the show buildings for Haunted Mansion, for Small World, and ended it out by the Beast Castle. So behind Be Our Guest. So you could have looped it around into kind of where Gaston's Tavern is and that kind of stuff. To me, that would have made more sense, because then it's completely blocked by show buildings to Fantasyland, and your entrances make sense at that point. From Haunted Mansion on one side, from the Beast Castle on the other side. Now, the way it looks, you're going to have an entrance at Haunted Mansion. They're going to have to block it off because it looks like the Cars Land area, like the main entrances to that, is going to be on the backside away from Frontierland. So you're going to have to walk through Liberty Square to get to one, by Haunted Mansion, or all the way around to the other side of Big Thunder Mountain. Well, what that does is it makes the Villain's Land have to have a strong barrier between the two lands now. So you're going to have some kind of mountain or hill or something to block out Villain's Land from Cars Land, because you don't want that merger of themes. You know, Disney does a good job of putting visual barriers in place so that Adventureland doesn't spill into Frontierland without a soft transition. And it's that trellis at Pecos Bill. Or it's going under the buildings, like through that bathroom area over by Country Bears, that kind of stuff. It gives you these soft transitions to where you don't notice the theming's changing, and it's not jarring. This, they're going to have to do something really special for it not to be jarring from Cars Land to Villain's Land. Now, granted, this isn't a Cars Land by any means. It's going to be a Cars ride, plus they're saying a secondary ride. I still haven't seen anything about a secondary ride, and there's nothing in this plan that shows a secondary ride. So, have they scrapped the secondary ride idea? If they scrap the secondary ride idea, the idea of Tomorrowland getting a refurb next is kind of out of the question, because you have to have a replacement for Tomorrowland Speedway. Not that Tomorrowland Speedway is a fantastic ride, but Tomorrowland Speedway still harkens back to the opening of both parks. Autopia, Tomorrowland Speedway, you have to have that type of ride in your park, because it's that generational ride. Not all the grandparents are going to go on the new Cars ride. You're going to get a bunch of grandparents on a Tin Lizzy ride, a Tomorrowland Speedway type ride, that kind of thing. And that's what you're losing at Magic Kingdom right now. It is. I mean, if you look at the new Fantasyland expansion, that was the beginning of this downturn of generational type rides. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train isn't a generational type ride. You know, you had Big Thunder Mountain, you had Space Mountain. Those were fine. There were people that would get on Splash Mountain that probably wouldn't ride either of those. So you were good there. Now you're starting to add rides that people don't understand. They're not just slow, dark rides like Pirates. They're not, out there roller coasters like Big Thunder Mountain. These are hybrid type rides that are going to give you feelings. They're going to have height restrictions. They're going to be harder for families to stay on together. And that's going to be the whole Villains Land. I mean, if we don't understand that from the beginning, we have no idea what that's going to do to this park. The whole Villains Land idea has to be predicated on scare and roller coaster. You're going to lose a whole generation that won't even go in that land. So it's sad to see. I mean, it's just sad to see, and it's just they're taking away a lot of the things that make Magic Kingdom really, really good. So, Walt Disney World Railroad, beginning July 7th, train will operate only between Main Street and Fantasyland. The full circle route resumes when Villains Land opens. So they're still saying there's going to be a Villains Land. I'm still seeing stuff that Villains Land is on the chopping block right now. It's interesting. I mean, it's a super interesting thought that Villains Land could be on the chopping block. Why would Villains Land be on the chopping block? They want to expand Cars. You know what's going to change that? If this villain show is just a huge success at Hollywood Studios. We've been talking about it since we found out that was happening. The shows that go into that building, and I think it's going to happen until Muppets 3D gets there. And it will. Muppets 3D is going in there in some iteration. The Villains Land, or the Villains show on Fairly Ever After, is a testing ground to see the response to Disney doing a Villains thing that isn't part of a Not So Scary event. It comes down to magic bands. They are keeping tally of the people that are going in there. I guarantee it. And that's going to give them an idea on how wanted this Villains Land is going to be. And with that, when they get that idea, when they figure that out, that's going to be the tipping point. That's going to be the okay at D23 this year. I mean, if they can continue to keep crowds at 60% of where they were opening week, walking up until D23, Villains Land just tails right on the back. They don't even take down the construction trailers. It is 100% going in as Cars Land is opening up. They just move the construction barriers back. If this thing goes for a month, the show at Hollywood Studios goes for a month and then just peters out, I think there's a good chance that they cancel it. There's a demand for Cars. I don't know if there's much of a demand for villains outside of what they do at Not So Scary. And it's weird to say that because I know that there are a ton of Villains fans, but I think they understand that it has its place. And its place shouldn't be at Magic Kingdom. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a hard sell. Some promising news. Now, this is something that doesn't impact me specifically, but it is something that I do keep an eye on because it's something that we've talked about here in my household quite a bit, and that's DVC. DVC just released a new set of rules and regulations, and they are cracking down on renting out your points. And I love this. I love this. You know, if you are purchasing DVC and driving up the price of DVC to sell it and use it as a rental property, you shouldn't be able to do it. You shouldn't be allowed to. So it is a personal use only checkbox that they're adding. And it's going to be something that I think changes DVC for the better. Now, are they still going to charge outrageous prices? I mean, right now, points are, for new properties, upwards of $250 a point. I don't know that it changes your initial buy-in, but on the resale market, I think it really changes on the resale market, which is awesome. So I think that works out really well. Let's talk a little Lorcana. And there's a few things that were announced this past week. The first one is we are getting the Whole New World promos at local game stores. So they are going to do an Infinity Weekend, December 12th through 14th at your local game store. They are going to be introducing the Infinity format. And then it's also going to be a chance to get the Whole New World promo card, which is the full art promo card that is going to be handed out at Worlds this year. We're not going to get probably the enchanted version. We'll get a regular, non-foily fun version, but it's still going to be the Whole New World promo, which is pretty cool. Definitely check out your local game stores coming up in December for this. So if you look at kind of the timeline now, okay, Reign of Jafar wide scale release was last Friday. So your big box stores, everybody got it last Friday, and then Moonshot for some reason, because apparently Moonshot played it like a big box store this time and didn't get any product prior to big box week, which is weird. So it released first week of June, let's say, okay? So that means that Set Champs will be in August. So you have Gen Con in August, which is the 2-year of Disney Lorcana. They're having a big event, like the opening day, 10 o'clock the opening day, to celebrate 2 years of Lorcana, which is kind of cool. And then August will be your Set Champions. Okay? September is going to be Fabled release. Fabled is Set 9. That starts rotation. When Fabled releases, what is that going to be? Labor Day weekend? When Fabled releases, sets 1 through 4 get cut. Except for cards that are reprinted. So there's some cards in set 8 that were already reprints. So like Captain Hook, Dalmatian Puppy Tail Wagger, that kind of stuff, got reprinted in set 8. They're going to be viable cards moving into the future. Yeah. I don't need sold something on Twitch. Thanks though. So they'll be viable cards. So watch for those reprints, cards that are going to be reprinted. Also, cards that we know that are going to be reprinted. Maleficent Dragon, Tink, Giant Fairy, that kind of stuff. We're already getting ideas that those are going to be reprinted as well. So September, October, November will be your set championships for Fabled. That means first weekend in December will be your release for set 10. into the wishing well. Smoke from the wishing well. Jake, what's Set 10's name? I know they announced it on the big show that they had about a month ago. I don't remember. Something about a wishing well. So when that releases, they're going to do more cutting. So rotation's going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are excited for rotation because of deck building possibilities and kind of how stagnant the meta has been the last two sets, especially up until the Hiram ban and Fortisphere ban. But I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what comes out the backside of that. Also, Disney Lorcana posted today that the World Championships at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, or not Magic Kingdom, they're going to be at Epcot. I mean, if you don't know that they're going to be at Epcot, they're going to be at Epcot. Are June 28th and 29th. And they are going to be broadcast on the Lorcana Twitch page. So, I still feel like if we don't get an option for every match, we're going to get gypped. They're going to be running this as a multi-format tournament, with one being super sealed and the other being the 3-deck challenge. So, that's going to be pretty interesting to watch. Some of the best players of Lorcana in the world right now are going to go for a world championship, the first world championship at the end of the month. One thing that I missed on the Disney Park side, and I want to hit it real quick before I jump off of here. We'll get off of here at 8 o'clock tonight. Is Disney did release that the Muppets coaster will be opening next year, which is a quick timeline. But let's
hi-ho, everyone!
Listen to
hey, the
Kermit
Muppets
here.
are busy packing things up and getting ready for our big move to Sunset Boulevard in Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World. I can't tell you how excited we are to be part of Rock and Roller Coaster, the first ever Muppet coaster in existence. That is, if you don't count Gonzo's homemade laundry chute roller coaster in our old theater, which I do not. So, anyway, we will see you all there in 2026.
There you go. So Kermit with the news. Rock and Roller Coaster, Muppets Edition, Electric Mayhem Edition will be open in 2026. What do you guys think? I mean, what do you think about the state of Disney parks right now? You know, are you happy with the changes? What is kind of your opinion of what's going on? You know, I get on here every week and I've got a platform where I can tell you guys my opinion, but I want to hear from you guys. You know, what has your opinion been over, you know, we can go back as far as the new Fantasyland edition and kind of everything that happened with that, with the changing of Mr. Toad's to Winnie the Pooh, the getting rid of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, that kind of stuff, and what that started at Disney parks. So let me hear your thoughts. Put it in the chat. Let me know over on Twitter at Disney Insights over there. And while you're thinking about it, go over to the YouTube page. Check out our Carousel of Progress video. I'm super excited for that. We also have Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, releasing next week. I am working on the new Country Bears show. It's going to look awesome. I've got the Villain show on tape. I've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure on tape. I've got Pirates on tape. We've got a lot coming out this summer. So definitely check out the YouTube channel, and you're going to get some fresh new content. Lots of fresh new content this summer. So definitely excited with everything that's going to be posted over there. And we still got all the old stuff, and we're going to be doing some new things. We're going to be doing a side-by-side of Big Thunder Mountain Magic Kingdom versus Disneyland Park, which is going to be really cool. Just so you guys can see how similar they really are in a side-by-side. So yeah, I just got some really cool ideas that we're going to work on and get knocked out this summer. And then once we get on the backside of the summer, a little bit of a new show format, going back to more of the old show format where we had like 15-20 minutes of news, and it wasn't this big 45 minutes of news and talking and that kind of stuff. We're going to go back to 15 or 20 minutes of news, and then we're going to have our segments coming back, which is, I'm super excited to have segments back. I love having people on the show and talking to people about different things. And we're going to have our DPI Top 3 segment coming back. We are going to have the Disney Deep Dive segment coming back. We are going to have a Disney Lorcana segment that we are going to develop a little bit. That's going to be a monthly segment. We are going to have the DPI family segment back, which I'm super excited to have the kids back on the show. They're super excited to come back on the show. Aren't you, Allie? Yes, I am. I'm super excited. It's going to be the darndest great thing in the world. That's what I thought. I mean, that is some enthusiasm from the teenager. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got all these things coming up. We might get a Rogue Shannon sighting on the show, or at least a voice on the show, on the family segment. But what we're going to look at doing is have like 4 weeks of different content every month. So a deep dive, a top 3, Lorcana segment, and a family segment every month. And that would just give us some variety, give us some different things to talk about from different perspectives that we're getting it from, which I'm super excited to have. So, but again, everybody, thank you for coming out and checking out the show today. If you do have any questions, definitely put them in the chat, put them in the comments. Hit us up over on Facebook at DPI Podcast or on Twitter at Disney Insights. I'm going to say all this information again in like 30 seconds. So, guys, all have a great week. I will talk to you next Monday. Bye now. I figured I should do this in my best Kermit the Frog voice, and this is terrible. I've had a better Kermit the Frog voice before, but I guess this is what I'm getting today. If you are looking for us on social media, you can find us in a lot of places. Over on Facebook, it's going to be the easiest at DPI Podcast for the show page, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel site. Over on Twitter X, you can find us at Disney Insights. We also have Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Threads, all the things. You can come find us. Thank you guys all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Everything that you do to support the channel. It is very